Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, September the 19th, 2024. Thursday, September the 19th. Yeah, wasn't that good today at all. Okay. We have Sidwell and Holly are in a casino. He's, kind of wrapping up the business and spoiling Holly. And Anna and Jason walk in. Jason's in a tuxedo, looking good, debonair, right? And so Holly notices them, but she, of course, don't act. She's a con woman. And he says, "Hey, I don't know that woman. I've never seen her before. And I wouldn't know if I've seen a woman like her before." And Holly said, "Hey, watch it." And he goes, "Oh, she doesn't compare to you. I'm just saying, that's interesting. I wonder who they are." He goes, "Maybe we should ask them to join us." And Holly says, "Oh, if I must share you, right?" And he goes, "I know, I don't like to share either, but I'm intrigued." But then Holly says, "Oh, look, a spot opened up at your favorite table." And he was like, "Oh, because that man loves to gamble, right?" He goes, "Oh, let me sit down." So he goes and he sits down because Holly and Jason was actually Jason or one of the two, probably Jason, was going to sit down. While I said Holly and Jason, Anna and Jason, while Anna tried to do her thing, right? Because she says, "We got to get a hold of his phone so I could clone it." Well, as they're heading to the table, Holly ushered him in. So he sat down and Anna says, "Oh, of course she thwarts our plan." Because Anna's like, "I don't know if would be on our side or not." He goes, "If she knew Lulu was in trouble, don't you think she would help?" And she goes, "Yeah, pretty much. I do believe she would help if she knew Lulu were in trouble." So the guy starts playing. The person to his left, she gets cleaned out. He cleans her out. And so Anna says, "Oh, another seat opened up." So they were gonna head that way, and somebody from the bar swoops his girlfriend in there. And there's two empty seats, though. I don't know why Jason. Oh, because she wanted Jason next to him. That's right. And so Anna tells the guy at the bar laughingly, "Ooh, I hope your friend does better than the last player that sat next to him. He cleaned her out." So the guy looked and he went over and he whispered in her ear to move over a seat because he didn't want her near Sidwell, which gave Jason the opportunity to sit down. So, of course, Jason accidentally spills some champagne on the guy's jacket because remember, Anna needs to get his phone. And Jason apologizes and he goes, "I'm sure you don't want to play in a wet jacket." And the guy says, "No." So he takes his jacket and his guard drapes it on the back of his chair. So they start playing, and Jason wins the first hand. And now they got another hand going, and Jason is looking, right? Jason has a better hand, I think. I don't know poker. Um, Look, I may have a poker face, but I don't know poker. So anyway, Anna she slips and she tells Jason, "Good luck, darling," as she's getting the phone out of the guy's pocket. She's trying to clone it. Holly comes up from behind and says, "Excuse me, I think you have a phone that doesn't belong to you." So now this is going to give Anna a chance to tell Holly what's going on. And of course, Holly will probably say, "Yeah, she knows where Lucky is," or Lucky is with them. She may not know his exact whereabouts because they have moved places, but she knows Lucky is nearby. So we'll see how that conversation goes tomorrow. And then we have Cyrus. He's back. Must be back from another project because he does do movies or, you know, TV deals. Um, so he's back and he's telling Lulu he's so sorry for what happened to her because if only that snake Julian Jerome didn't botch up the job, you would never be in this situation. It's his fault, Like, come on, Cyrus. It's your fault. You ordered the bombing. So and he says, I'm gonna do everything I can, everything in my power to, make sure you get through this. He goes, it's too bad I'm not a donor. So he has been tested. Remember, we were talking about perhaps Cyrus could be Lulu's donor. So anyway, he's not a match, and he leaves this, I guess, paper or fake flower, kind of like a daisy like flower, next to her arm, next to her hand. And he leaves because he had it in his Bible as a marker. He leaves her room and he goes to Isaiah's room. And he tells Isaiah, oh, you're awake. He stopped by a couple times. Isaiah was asleep. And he goes, are you the hospital chaplain? And he goes, no, he visits people, you know, who are in need of prayer. And he goes, would you like to pray together? And Isaiah's like, I'm good. And he was saying, I was visiting my niece, Lulu Spencer, or Lulu may go by Falconeri still. And he goes, oh, Lulu? He goes, yeah, her mother is my dear sister, who's also the mayor. So Isaiah's thinking, small world. Everybody seems to know Lulu, right? Because Dante was in earlier. I'm Lucky Spencer's ex-brother-in-law. I mean, so Dante was asking him some questions. Um, and then Rocco shows up at the hospital. And Dante says, what are you doing here? He goes, I want to see mom. It's not fair. Everybody has seen her but me. He's thinking because Danny sneak out whenever he want. Danny's even seen her. Now Danny didn't sit bedside though. But so he goes, I just want to see her. He goes, does Sam know you're here? He says, no. Um, he told he was at a friend's house and he told the friend's mother to drop him off at the hospital versus home. So he's like, well, yeah, why didn't you tell Sam? He goes, and why didn't you tell me? He goes, because I didn't want you to tell me no. I feel I need to see her. And he goes, can I see her? And Dante says, yes. But I want to make sure you don't feel you have to lie to see your mother. You can come and see your mother anytime, just as long as I know where you're at. Sam knows where you're at. So Rocco was like, okay, he was happy with that. So he sits down and he's talking to Lulu. And Dante just said, just tell him what's going on with you. So he's talking about school starting, his teacher, some girl that looked at him, may have been cheating, but he says, nah, I think she looked at me. So it was a good little conversation between son to mother. And that pretty much was it. We have Rick and Liz again. They went to Bobby's for coffee. Jocelyn brought them some fries because she said she made too many. And they're talking. Of course, Rick is trying to weasel a date out, and Liz says, Rick, nothing's gonna go past what this is right now. So I just want to let you know, period. We're not starting a relationship again. So the way their conversation ended, she goes, but we could be friends. I mean, I really don't like right now. She doesn't have any friends to talk to. She goes, we could be friends. And he goes, okay, he'll take that, of course. One thing that came out while Dante was talking to Isaiah, guess what type of doctor Isaiah is? Coincidentally, he is a transplant surgeon. Who do you think's gonna do the transplant on Lulu? It's gonna be Isaiah. He's gonna end up being the most skilled physician around. So GH will give him emergency status. Watch. I could feel that in my bones. Well, Jordan had picked up a BLT and fries because she felt Isaiah may want something other than hospital food. Now, remember, her main interest was in him, was just finding out who he is. So his family, if he had him, would know, what's happened and where he's at. Well, now, hey, I'm in charge of his hunger needs, you know. So she's talking to him because she walked in as Cyrus was still there. And she instantly, what are you doing in here? And Cyrus can hear her voice. And she goes, leave now. And Isaiah's looking at her, and Cyrus is like, here we go. So he leaves and she shuts the door behind him. She goes, stay away from him. He's trouble. He goes, well, he seemed nice. You know, he said he was here visiting his niece Lulu. She said, did he tell you? He's the one that ordered the bomb that put Lulu in this condition. And Isaiah said, he failed to mention that. He didn't mention that to me, right? So he's sitting here smelling this BLT and fries, and he goes, listen, I just have to ask, is what's smelling so good in that bag? Is that for me? So she's like, yeah, it's for you. So, oh, he dives right in. And I think he even offers her a fry or two at the end. But, you know, they're building a little relationship, little, look, chemistry there, screen tests going very well. But Jordan has paired with people, this Jordan and actually both actresses. There may have even been three. I cannot remember. There may have been three Jordans. She may be the third. But everybody who's played Jordan has done very well, chemistry wise, with other actors. I mean, very well. And this one included. So we see that that's going to be a go. And then the last thing that really happened was Geo came in talking to Jocelyn, apologizing for telling her about Sonny and Carly. And Jocelyn, yeah, you know, my mother's grown, I may not like it, but blah, blah, blah. I fast forwarded the whole thing because didn't care. Just, you know, didn't care about their conversation whatsoever. And that is it. So what I'm going to do, I am going to do some Comic Corner. I'm going to set my trusty dusty stopwatch. I'm going to go from the top down, getting started. Yolanda says they could bring up 200 weapons. This is really stupid. They wouldn't know if it is or isn't the gun. Very unrealistic. Yes, the way they would know. They remember they're looking for, oh, wait just a minute. They don't know. I don't think a correlation has ever been done. Alexis never said she got the gun from Sonny, did she? Remember, she, excuse me, found that gun in her driveway. Because I was going to say, they know Sonny's gun is missing, and they also have the serial numbers because Sonny's gun is registered. So what's going to happen is when Sam does get that gun, if that's how it's going to happen, it's going to prove to be Sonny's missing gun. Alexis would have to say, yes, that's the gun. Although it should have her fingerprints on, I would think, but now Sam's going to be all over it. But anyway, Alexis would certify that is the gun she dropped into the lake. It's going to be Sonny's because the serial number is going to match. So they're going to know that's not the murder weapon. That would clear Alexis of John Cates's murder. So that's how. If they bring it up, the serial number will match Sonny's missing gun. And Heather says, Heather will get out once Portia's deeds are uncovered. I wonder if Brad is in on the tampering again. Well, here's the thing. Remember, it is actually Terry. Terry Randolph, what's it, Dr. Randolph? She's the one that hired Brad back, you know, conditionally. Portia did not. Portia would not know to go up to Brad, somebody hired back that Terry hired, and try to get him to tamper with Tess. She would now, if Terry needed some Tess tampered with, she would be the one to say, Brad, you know what? You looked the way so many other times and did so many things. You look the other way now and do it. But Portia doesn't know him well enough to do that. Maria says, so many people are angry with Molly and are saying she was wrong for how she's treating Christina. Molly knew Christina's actions were going to cost Alexis, just as she knew it was a bad idea for Christina to confront Ava. Molly is the strong one who wait, is the strong one is what everyone is saying. Molly can handle it. What if she can't? What if Sam's death sends Molly over the edge? Everyone is at has a breaking point, which is true. I don't know why they're saying Molly is so strong. I mean, you know, PE says, remember that the SL when Sasha, what does SL mean? When Sasha was in the psych hospital and it was so bad, we all said enough already. Oh, when they just had her going through so many tragedies, so much pain. I think we'll feel the same way about Alexis. Nah, I don't think so. Lynn says, hi. Joanne says, Heather was always crazy and out of control, a crazy and out of control manic long before her hip replacement or cobalt poisoning. I agree. Kalima says, continue continuity bothers me. Selena Wu, his aunt, was adamant that Brad worked for her, not the hospital. Why was he seeking a job there again? Um, and we haven't seen Taggart since the wedding fiasco, and he was in a restaurant somewhere drinking. Well, you mean since the paternity fiasco? I don't know why they've just written Selena Wu off the canvas. I mean, I don't know what allegedly scared her out of town. And Kalima says Portia lied to Curtis for 20 years about Trina's paternity. Is this, I mean, is it that much of a stretch that she would tamper with Heather's blood test? No, it's not. Lucy says Heather Weber should have the test redone and have a second opinion. Yeah, that's what Rick is going to do. And I hope Liz, well, even if Liz does say something, Portia would not be able to get into two separate, because she said have them done at two separate places, none of them GH. Um, Lisa says it would put Christina over the edge if Christina died. You mean if Sam died? I heard it is not Martin Gray. It is this Ted Manning. No, and you might maybe Todd Manning. No, it's Martin Gray that came back. Um, Lisa says it would help Christina to go into therapy. When did Felicia become a therapist? She didn't. Last I checked, patient advocates are not therapists. She wasn't really offering therapy, even though they did have her cross the line with some of her advice. But she wasn't offering therapy. She was giving comfort and showing Christina all the options. And Joanne says Felicia is kind of a social worker, patient advocate like Stella. They advise about what is available to the patients at the hospital. Kevin is off the grid, so they had her see Felicia. And Lisa says Heather's levels are the same thanks to Portia. She needs to go to prison for tampering with her blood work. If it is good enough for Alexis, it will be good enough for Portia. She is going to get caught. I'll bet he gets blamed for it. You mean Brad? We'll see how they do. Madison says, I hope Sam does find the gun before she dies. Jacarly says, Martin is better than Nora. Oh, you did make a good point, Jacarly, because Martin has no scruples. Sonny said, do whatever it takes to win. And he says, I don't plan on losing. And let's not forget, he was Valentine's lawyer. And then Jacarly says, Christina will probably feel guilty, but Sonny should feel the guiltiest. He shot the FBI agent in cold blood without an after plan. Christina is also right. It might have been an accident, but somebody still has to be accountable, and it's hers. That's true. Portia is what Jacarly also says. And she said, Ooh, Jacarly, you had a lot of things. Dante and Sam, his father is the reason his mother is in jail. Oh, her mother. Dante's father is the reason her mother is in jail. Let me see. And then she's surprised how Heather never mentioned Stephen Lars. I am says, hi, Miss Daily Recap Lady. I'm the one thinking Sam will drown. Oh, that was you. If Kelly is going to die, she needs something big. Scott and Danny are the biggest loser. Scout and Danny are the biggest loser. That is true. Her poor kids. And it's not going to be Kelly that's going to die because Kelly Monaco's off the show already. You could tell that. That's why they have Lindsay filling in for her. So the character of Sam is going to die. I think they're going to have Lindsay filling all those, filming those scenes. And then I am says, hopefully the fans will save Sam's job. Nope, she's gone. Kelly's job. Joanne says, I agree. I think she will dive and something will happen. Jane says, well, there sounds more like an animated. I don't know what that means. I've seen a couple of times sisters or brothers to another sister and brother. Oh, you mean Dante and Sam that close? Yeah, you're right. That is a little tangled up there. Jane. User VR says, I hope Portia gets busted. How wait, would love her going away for a while, losing her license and everything else. And Linda says, so would I. She always thinks she's trouble, but had the she may have had Brad back uh just to use him to change the bloodware. No, remember Terry's the one that brought Brad back. But the way you're talking, she doesn't think uh he did it, and Portia is the one who changed it. Portia is the one who changed it, and I hope she gets a little or more of the Pentonville. She's no better than anyone else. And then last daily recap comment is from uh, Aisha. She says, you crack me up, daily recap lady. Baby mama gets the second best lawyer. you know who feels bad but not guilty over what Alexis is going through? Sonny, of course. He wouldn't be confessing to get anyone else off the hook. Several points about Martin Gray. This is very good, Aisha. Now that he's back in town, he needs to be tested as a potential donor for Lulu. Second, he was Valentine's lawyer. Who is it? Wait, why isn't he under investigation? He knew, we know he handled some of the Pikeman paperwork and his client is a fugitive. Yeah, but that doesn't mean an attorney knows every bad dealings his client does. As to his lawyerly skills qualifications, he did convince the parole board to reverse the decision and grant Nell parole. I forgot all about that. He kept her free after her first attempt to kidnap Wiley, all financed by Valentine. And then I am says, great assessment. You're right. Martin does have some skills, I guess. So, all right, baby mama. Second best might be good enough for baby mama. All right, everybody, that's it. Tomorrow, hopefully, it has more action because today was just filler Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow for another daily recap.